Act of betrayal upon the sovereignty of Azerbaijan. Non-declared war of Armenia against Azerbaijan Republic. Occupation of GARABAGH. Act of betrayal upon the sovereignty of Azerbaijan. Non-declared war of Armenia against Azerbaijan Republic. Occupation of GARABAGh. Following the February events of 1988, the separatist terrorist groups of the GARABAGH Autonomous Oblast and Armenian armed forces began military operations for the capture of GARABAGh. The units of the USSR Armed Forces and Armenia and GARABAGH Autonomous Oblast also joined them. Clearly, Russian military forces couldn't take the step without the agreement of Moscow. Thus, condition emerged similar to the one due to the collapse of the Cherry government in February 1917 and repeated once again. Armenian officers starring the Soviet Army and former Soviet military units united against Azerbaijanis and began military operations on a common front. First began the occupation of GARABAGH Azerbaijani settlements. KERIM was invaded on January 15. Malubeli and Kushtular villages on February 10, 1992. The peaceful and unarmed people were ruthlessly tortured, and the siege press of Khojaly and Shushan narrowed. The Dashaut operation against hurried lot of Azerbaijani volunteers failed. Armenian and Soviet military units captured GARABAGH village in mid-February. The most tragic event of modern history took place on the night of February 25-26, 1992. Armenian military units committed a terrible genocide against Azerbaijanis and Khojaly together with the soldiers of the 366th Mounted Infantry Regiment. Other than the terrible bloodshed committed by fascism in the Second World War, this is the most massive and terrible genocide committed by the Armenian separatists, terrorists, and Armenian military forces against humanity in modern time. The Azerbaijani leadership backed the position of Moscow instead of its own nation, and this war targeted against the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan and its people discredited. Due to the condition of an aggravated people movement on March 1992, Mutalibov heading the republic resigned. The power gap that emerged weakens the protective ability of the Azerbaijan Republic even more. Consequently, in May 1992, Armenian and Soviet military units captured Shusha as well. Thus, the Armenians actually invaded the entire territory of GARABAGH. The next day was the occupation of the Lachen region. Armenians didn't stop military operation after the occupation of the entire territory of the GARABAGH Autonomous Oblast and Lachen region. Making use of the aggravation of the fight for power in Baku, the Armenians invaded Lachen as well. The new squabbles within the power during the rule of Azerbaijan Popular Front struck a heavy blow on the republic's defense. In April 1993, Azerbaijan was invaded. In June, a deep political crisis occurred in Azerbaijan. Aliyev came to power by the demand of the people. Armenia continued the war against Azerbaijan, invaded Aghdam, Fizuli, Jabrayil, Gubadlı, and Dangilan regions within July-October 1993. Armenians razed the land to the ground in the invaded territories. 20,000 Azerbaijanis became martyrs in the war. 100,000 were wounded, 50,000 men became invalid. The number of refugees and internally displaced persons exceeded 1 million. In accordance with official information, Armenian invaders took 40.861 Azerbaijanis, including 314 women, 58 children, and 255 old men, as captives and hostages. Armenian fascists hide the true number of the captives and hostages from international organizations, treat them in inhuman and ruthless ways, make them work as slaves, humiliate and defend them. The United Nations organization confirmed that an unfair war is run against Azerbaijan. Its territorial integrity is violated and its territories have been invaded by Armenians. United Nations Security Council adopted 4 resolutions on the withdrawal of Armenian armed forces from the territories of the Republic of Azerbaijan. However, the Armenian invaders didn't implement these resolutions. There was a great need for the mobilization of military, economic, as well as human forces of Azerbaijan in the struggle against the Armenian invaders. With this purpose, he relieved rest people by television and radio. On November 2, a series of military organizational measures were taken. Due to this, it was possible to create a turning point in the just struggle of the Azerbaijani people against the invaders. In mid-November, the attack of Armenian armed forces against Belgan was stopped. On January 5, 1994, the Harides town and 22 villages of the Fizil region were cleared away from the enemy. After that, a part of the GARABAGH region Bozlat, Tagagaya, Babashlar, Kent, Chaplı, Susuzluq, Qasım binası, Yanşarbinar, Yanşak, Bağırsak, Gamışlı and Bağırlı settlements of Kalbaja region were liberated as well. The enemy was driven out from Çiçekli mountain and other strategic hills. The part of Kalbaja region right of the tunnel was taken under control. The successes achieved by Azerbaijan in the field were creating a turning point in the war and releasing the occupied native land seriously alarmed not only the Armenian but also the forces supporting it. The Armenian party's policy of strengthening the Republic of Armenia militarily, supplying it with modern weapons and making it a reactionary force in the region was aggravated ever more. In such condition, the Azerbaijan Republic signed the Bishkek Protocol in May 8, 1994. Successful military operations of Azerbaijani or Armenian military forces caused a ceasefire in the front in May 12. In the period of this invasion and war against the Republic of Azerbaijan, Armenia pushed it into over 360 kilometers west from Azerbaijan borders, invaded 20% of its territories into control of the 198 kilometers Azerbaijan-Iranian borders from Kurdistan in Fizulayev to Dengilan. Armenia's invaders 2 cities, 1 town and 53 villages populated by approximately 50,000 Azerbaijanis and the territory of GARABAGH. Together with the invasions inside GARABAGH Autonomous Oblast, Armenians captured 890 cities, villages and towns. The destroyed facilities, occupied planting and foresteries were as follows: 102 public buildings, 7,000, secondary schools, 693 public health facilities, 895 motor roads, 800 kilometers, bridge 160, water pipeline 2,300 kilometers, electric power lines 150,000 kilometers, forests 250,000, arable lands 200, historical monuments and museums 464. In accordance with national calculations, the Azerbaijan Republic received a loss approximating $60 billion US. And the addition of the mercury, obsidian and volcanic glass reserves of the Republic of Azerbaijan, with 60% of construction and upholstery materials, 23.8% of forests and 7.8% of water reserves, etc., are in the invaded territories. 2 preserves and 3 sanctuaries, as well as 3 large water storage facilities, are also located in these regions.